Hey there, happy Saturday, everybody. It's August 8th. There's baseball today. And if you're watching this video before the late games start today, like if you're watching this video before 6 o'clock, you're cool. You're either a subscriber or you're a friend of mine. And you're going to go over here the games for the day. And also, I've done a ton of work on this MLB algorithm file, including migrating a lot of the player stats to 2020 instead of 2019 and messing around with a whole bunch of team stats now. So, interesting things. I know a lot of you ask, Ken, what's your biggest pick of the day? Or, is there some intelligence you can draw from this where you're like, this is what I should be playing. What should I load up on? And from all the experience in doing this for years now, I can tell you that the higher on this list, above bet score 3, especially, but the higher on the list, generally, the better. Um, you can look at all the results of what we've had so far this year in our record, and you can actually kind of like open it up and see what that has looked like so far this year. But it's going to get better, and also you can draw a lot of intelligence from the games as you watch. So if you look at everything we've done and open up every date here and put the bet score as the order, what you end up seeing is that are we profitable at all? The profit's going to be over here in this, whether it's going to be red or blue on the right or on the right side. And the answer is we haven't been profitable so far this year at all, overall, with all the games here. Even though we got very slightly profitable above bet score 8.47 or something. But it's super early, and we've been using a lot of last year's stats, and some of the information isn't perfect. So it does definitely get better. So it's a good thing that we migrated. For example, over the last, in August, for example, we are up in the most recent period in August as it's gotten better, up all the way down to bet score 0.46, where the max here is somewhere around bet score 2.67, right? Almost 9 units up. So it looks like that's 48 and 37 overall. If you say above bet score 3, like I was saying to do in August, you end up 33 and 16 overall, and you're up 7.5 units, and you could have been up over 8 units above bet score 4. So all I'm trying to prove to you is that the higher the bet score, the better this thing gets, the better it is. And that's true, even though we didn't have a good day yesterday, it looks like. I think we lost yesterday. So let's talk about today, though, a couple minutes in this video. But I just want to show you why you would subscribe to this and how it's going to help you out. So look, it says, the Dodgers, which obviously Vegas agrees with, is huge. But then we have like Colorado and Seattle. And there's new pitchers and things in these games. And so I was putting in pictures from their AAA stats or AA stats, and this what's funny about this game with Castellani and Margevicus is look at these enormous ERAs from these guys in the minor leagues, and the lineup factors are now, which is the batting stats for the team, are now from the new year. These are good batting numbers for both Colorado and Seattle. So this game, even though it's not in Colorado, should have 350 runs in it. I mean, it should be like this game should be like the Detroit Pittsburgh game last night that was like 13, 17, 13 or something. This game should be 15-9, right? So you really want the over in this game. You can see how even though the projected scoring here is a little low, I feel like for a lot of the games, it's still predicting a large game. So I would say an over in this game is your over-under pick of the day. But let's talk about winners and how we diagnose winners from this. So why is it saying the Dodgers is this huge bet score here, even though they're a bad line? And what does it think the score is going to be? Well, when you look at the Dodger game, it says, all right, number one pick of the day. It says that the Dodgers are supposed to win 6-2, so you can take them with the run line. It's because Johnny Cueto loses half of his games and has an ERA of 5, and Clayton Kershaw's the man. Look at all this green here. The Dodgers win in every single category across the board, including runs allowed and runs for. They just crush it. So you're supposed to take the Dodgers with even an adjusted run line, basically like -2.5. And if they don't pull it off, so be it. But all the stats say they will, right? So that's that one. Well, what about Colorado and Seattle? That's a weird pitching matchup. So to take Colorado here, you can see how it's almost even money. Both these pitchers are bad. I'd rather bet on runs in this game and not a winner. So I don't agree with the algorithm here, but the algorithm is usually right. So you probably want Colorado in these two. And the answer is why. Why is that? Colorado's ERA is higher. because the bullpen on Colorado is stronger. That's the difference. That's why there. And Colorado's won more games than Seattle has this year. And Colorado scores more runs, but they're in Colorado. And their average runs allowed is less. See, the Colorado's bullpen is apparently underrated. That's what this is saying. So that's interesting. Now, Miami and the Mets. Sterling Sharp sounds like a football player pitching for the Marlins. I have stats from AA or AAA or something for him in here, so that's distorting this. However, the Mets do not have a good pitcher. The Mets do not have a good bullpen. Even the Marlins have a better bullpen than the Mets this year. And the Marlins are scoring more than the Mets, which is amazing given that when they play in Miami, they have more wins. The Mets just continue to suck. So them having a plus 144 here, which you want in a game like this, where your pitching matchup is still, this is not major league stats for Sterling Sharp, is I'd say you take Miami plus 1.5 here. Because if they manage to lose it late somehow, which they'll probably come back late actually, but their lineup factor may not hit. If it's a low scoring game, they still might only lose by one. So taking them plus 1.5 is probably a reasonable line. And there is it being at plus 144 here already. So that's what's interesting about that. And I'm not going to go on forever, but you can see the analysis that can be done on every file. So if you told me, Ken, what's the one thing you should do today? The answer is, you should take the Dodgers run line, minus 1.5, and you should take the over in the Colorado Seattle game. And then there's a bunch of other things you can do if you want to dig more into this. And this is the guide to do that. You can see there's a bunch of underdogs here. Baltimore, Toronto, Texas. Toronto over Boston's kind of interesting. There's a big line for Texas over the Angels. Let's look at Texas over the Angels just real quick and see what's going on there. This is Texas over the Angels. It's because Texas has a good line at home. You got Sandoval, which doesn't have good pitching stats for the Angels. That's the problem here. Now, here's something else you can do, which is you can try to migrate this and say, instead of 2019 stats, I want to look at 2020 pitching stats, and everything's going to change. And just, it doesn't work properly because some of these guys don't have stats yet for the team for the year. But something interesting like the Yankees, Garrett Cole being 3-0, Chris Paddock being 2-0, that's interesting. Here's actually a pretty good pitching matchup between Merrill Kelly and Paddock for this year. Um, Ross Detweiler 1-0 against Cleveland. So it changes things around a bit. It actually gives them a better bet score. If you look at the bet score comparison from one year to the other, you have a totally different pick if you're looking at 2020 stats. So that's another thing you can do with this file. And if you subscribe, I'll send you a copy of the file so you can mess around with it and do that. It really is interesting to dig in. So anyway, this thing will help you. I guarantee this thing will help you. That I can guarantee. I can't guarantee it's going to win you money, even though it should if you use it right. Um, but it's going to help you. And that's my guarantee. So if you're interested in supporting this, I'll put more time into it. I'm going to be on the road for a while, so you won't be seeing any videos like this for a while, but maybe you'll see videos from the parking lots of different major league ballparks that you can't go into. Who knows? I'll do something. So good luck to everybody, and go Dodgers, go Runs, go Miami, I guess, even though I'm a Mets fan. And probably Runs in this game too, right, with Texas and LA. Let's look at that real quick. Big ERA, lineup factor. The Angels are going to outscore maybe Texas. You got to watch out for that because Texas ERA and the bullpen is not as good. Depends how long Colby Allard goes. Hey, do you want to see how long Colby Allard normally goes in a game? Let's do that. Colby Allard right here normally pitches 5 innings over here, innings per start on average. At least he did in 2019. So you can expect him to go about 5 and 4 innings to pick up for the bullpen of Texas. So if Texas gets off to a lead, I'd actually be scared and watch out for the Angels to come back. As you can see, this is Texas, the 11th pick, but they have a better lineup factor, the Angels do, and the ERA for the Texas bullpen is a little higher. So watch out for the Angels to potentially come back if Texas gets off to a lead there. That's how you analyze the file. Good luck, everybody. We're out.